What's up, guys, and welcome back to the GameShow Global Esports Cup. We have the third set of the day. We got CIS Rejects, who we haven't seen play just yet, go up against Newteam 1-2-3 in a 2-game set. Currently, Newteam, they won one game, they lost one game. I think that's all they've done, but I may be mistaken. They may have played some games on the other stream. Either way, Mikelorus can be joined by Kefka for this third best of two. And man, let's hope that this game is as good as the other ones. We've seen some pretty good games so far.
Yeah, the games have been pretty good so far, and I'm hoping CIS Rejects bring something really nice. I think I would favor them over Newteam, just personally, but I might be overestimating them as well. I think, from what I've seen, I've not seen a lot of these teams either until today, pretty much. So it's not like I have some great insight. But CIS Rejects have been performing quite well. Even though I think Newteam has some really good names on their sides as well. So, well, we'll see what happens in this game. Draft already starting with Tusk being banned out first this time. It was seen the last game when was Scary Faces? It was Hellraiser. Yeah, Goddamn on the Tusk. Yeah, had amazing performance. Maybe people saw how strong the hero is again. Like the nerf didn't affect him that much. And Nice Stalker being banned out. This is pretty much like I think the CIS region really like the Nice Stalker, so teams then ban it because it's that strong.
I think it is completely justified as well. Like this Night Stalker, we've seen him just take over games. It doesn't really take a lot of gold experience to get to that point where you can take over games. Perhaps a little bit of luck, just being in the right place at the right time, getting the good reads from the opponents, getting you those early game kills. But if all of those pieces come together, you can just get very far ahead, as we did see in, like, I believe the first game of the day, where the Night Stalker just went off like a rocket. I think most people would say that CIS Rejects, one of the favorites, maybe within all these teams, like as a whole. Like they just had to go through qualifiers, which is a little bit strange. They stomped their way through that one, and now they're here. So we'll see if they can continue stomping their way through. We've seen some aggressive timing pushes from them in their previous games. We've seen a couple of sloppy early game plays from them, but with super solid laning, they were able to get a CS lead, die a couple times, and still have the golden experience lead. That's what we've seen for the most part from CIS Rejects.
Okay, co-op first pick from by Newteam.
Radiant team pick.
I think a lot of teams are doing, like, no one is really consistent in their first pick. Like, you ban a bit different, and this is interesting already. IO Tiny being picked very early, which is still a strong opener, I'd say. It's a bit risky. I think Newteam has the possibility of going Vyvern here, which is quite nice against IO Tiny, even though they nerfed
guys, and welcome back
the
to the
Winter's
GameShow
Curse,
Global
because
Esports
if
Cup.
Tiny's Beaky Beat, he doesn't hit IO, while before you started hitting your Beaky Beat.
And let's be honest, even if this opening from CIS Rejects wasn't IO Tiny, pretty sure Newteam would be okay with grabbing the Winter Wyvern anyway. So, you know, it is a hero that you want to be picking up pretty much every single time. There it is. And it also does very well up against the IO Tiny. IO, not really great when Tiny is being forced to hit him. It or her, I don't know, but either way, for Newteam, they are going to know what they're up against. CIS Rejects most likely going to be running this in a dual lane mid capacity, maybe going to give Iceberg that Tiny, and then it's up to Newteam to get answers. Right now they have one in the Winter Wyvern, that's a really good one. Queen of Pain, fairly resistant in that lane, as usually the Avalanche Toss combo isn't going to land properly, so you do have a chance to blink away, but curious to see how deep they go in countering it. Like Disruptor is probably like the most direct counter, at least to the relocate, but they also do have quite a few options.
Yeah, I'm really now that the Night Stalker was banned out, I'm like really looking at it a lot, because I think Night Stalker would have destroyed this combo. You just silence the Tiny and then you kill IO in 2 seconds, I feel like. But Night Stalker banned out was really nice. I wonder if it might have been something they figured out before, if it just banned Night Stalker because it's that strong. Both teams looking for an offlaner, and a lot of offlaners have been banned, so either we see a lot of bans now or ignore completely. With Legion being banned out, kind of surprisingly, it's a nice setup for IO Tiny, but I think Legion is quite a weird hero. Some teams are really good at him, and sometimes that hero doesn't do anything the entire game.
I think the theory here for Newteam is that you're not sure it's going to be an IO Tiny combo in mid lane, and the IO Legion Commander in the off lane is very aggressive and sometimes hard to deal with. and Tiny will just be left alone mid, you know, maybe with an Earthshaker pickup from CIS Reject. So I think that's probably what GoBlack is trying to protect his team from. But, I mean, Legion Commander in the offlane is usually, let's say, on average, pretty mediocre. Let's say maybe a little bit less than mediocre, like bad to mediocre range. But either way, can be banned out along with the Broodmother. Now Silencer actually going to take a ban out. It is a hero who, combined with a relocate, can just absolutely destroy a team fight. So, you know, I think that is somewhat of a threat, but I don't know. It seems like they're already kind of prepared for him. They just blow him up.
Yeah. I like the ban from GoBlack. Both of them are quite nice. And Phantomans are being banned, even though Tiny tends to do quite well against PL, and IO kinda can deal with PL as well, so but pretty standard ban still. And third pick, I wonder if they want to pick offlaner early here, because the offlaner pool has been diminished quite a lot, so maybe picking up a hero
Shaker.
could force, yeah, like Shaker, could force Newteam to pick something different. They are but I don't know, offlane you can play quite a few offlane heroes I think in this patch. It's just that you have to be comfortable on that hero. You have Ayatana already, so you could like go split pushing, pick up a Prophet or something like that if you want as well. But you probably want a setup, so Clockwork is possible as well.
Yeah, I mean, Clockwork is just going to be that, you know, pretty solid A- B+ tier hero. You know, deviating a little bit given the state of the metagame, but right now it seems like he's just going to be that safe pick if you're looking for an offlaner. Instead, though, it's going to be a Rubik. Not going to be that offlaner selection, at least I sure as hell hope not. Offlane Rubik, something I haven't seen before, but here's hoping that it's this game. Yeah, this is going to be a semi-counter pick towards the Earthshaker if Newteam want to grab their offlaner. It is a setup for a Tiny, so maybe they are looking to open up this combo, not pair the IO with Tiny. Instead, maybe have a kind of roaming Rubik, IO plus someone else. I don't know, I feel like this is just we're just not going to show our hand kind of pick yet, right at this point.
Yeah, it feels like they picked an overall good hero. And, I feel like it's a bit risky picking Rubik like here. Remember last time Rubik was third pick, I didn't like it too much because it was... it left a lot of vulnerability in the draft, and I think it does something similar here. I think the lanes are stronger than when I mentioned it last time. I don't remember what team it was. It's quite a few games today, so... But Ayotine is...
Yeah, it was like Rubik with Razor. They had a Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, it was against the Night Stalker, that's why I disliked it. Because I think Night Stalker just dominates support, so if you have a weak support, he just kills that hero. And that's why I didn't like it. But here, it's a bit strong. I feel like Ayotine is a quite strong lane, and Newteam doesn't have really anything aggressive that hits between maybe 5 and 7 minutes. Bristle is okay pick. Quite surprising. I haven't seen him a lot. I think I've only seen Alliance pick Bristle. I've seen him being played in mid though, because he's amazing against Ayotine, and that's probably the reasoning Goblak has here.
You just can't kill off the Bristleback ever. Ayotine is pretty bursty. At least they rely on burst throughout the early stage of the game, and Bristleback just does not die to that. He may even turn things around simply because Ayotine, they typically have low armor, and Bristleback loves that fact. It's also here that I don't really see that all that often. I think saying Alliance plays it nowadays doesn't really hold that much weight, since Alliance are playing everything right now in some, let's say, very questionable ways, but we're not going to get into that. I do like the hero. I think it's sometimes just going to be that rock that you could build your team around, but other times it just feels like he may be tanky, but he just doesn't do quite enough. The rest of his allies die, and then Bristleback is left alone.
Yeah, a lot of heroes that are tanky are like, you need some mobility to go with that tankiness. So even if you tank through, some other heroes would be even tankier just because they have some sort of escape or anything like that. But Blizzard is quite strong. It leaves Newteam's lanes to be very flexible as well as really strong, I think. You can put Bristle mid against Ayotine, so if CIS Reject does that, you have a really strong lane there. And then you have Pops, he can go safe lane and dominate that lane, or he can go dual off lane with another hero, like maybe Undying. He can dominate that lane. So you have a lot of possibilities to win all 3 lanes here. And CIS Reject is going with Centaur, which I think is very interesting and not something that I would have expected.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen a Centaur in a very long time. I don't even think in this tournament, like any of the qualifiers, I haven't seen him either. So that's just interesting to see in and of itself. Outside of that fact, Centaur is pretty tanky, is pretty hard to dislodge, does work pretty well with Rubik. Now Klink's picked up by Newteam, but
Radiant
Centaur is
team
here that you
ban.
could probably 10 times out of 10 get him last pick. I don't think I've seen a Centaur banned out a single time.
Yeah. I think the CIS teams like Centaur, though, in history it shows that they've liked it quite a lot. Like Mag played a
10
Centaur
seconds remaining.
when no one else played it almost, like half a year ago. And
5 seconds remaining.
if I recall correctly, Moon Meander played Centaur yesterday for Monkey Business.
I'll take your
And
word for that.
Dire team
yeah, it was somewhat successful. It wasn't. He didn't. He did some nice things, but the hero is a bit weird. He needs quite a lot of farm. He can't really. He needs level 6 and maybe find a solo kill and then get the blink after that. If he doesn't get his blink in time, he
10
can
seconds
be
remaining.
kind of useless. The only thing he does if he doesn't have a blink is his ultimate. The other spells are
seconds
so hard to
remaining.
land.
And to be fair to the Centaur, an ultimate is very good
Reserve
up
time.
against Newteam, who really do lack disable. So just sprinting away from the Clinks or the Bristleback, they just can't do anything about that. That being said, Clinks is the pick for Newteam. Assassinating the likes of Io, Rubik, going to be not that difficult at all. Tiny and Centaur definitely a lot more difficult, but with other supports, as you said, like Centaur typically struggles to get in close unless he has his Blink Dagger.
Radiant
Tiny,
team
same
pick.
thing. So get rid of the supports, get rid of the setup. Really get rid of the problem. We got a Razor now, Ogre Magi. Oh man, Ogre Magi to be banned out here would have been pretty ridiculous actually with Bristleback and Clinks getting that Bloodlust. But what does CIS Rejects go for now? It's not going to be that Razor, probably just going to be a safe laner. But given the versatility that Newteam are still holding on to with their lanes, it's pretty hard to call.
Yeah,
10
I'm not
seconds
too
remaining.
sure what they pick. If this was 6.84, I would pick Bloodseeker here, 100%.
5 seconds remaining.
But not sure what they're looking
Lina.
for. They're gonna go Lina.
Dire
Pretty
team
interesting. Probably gonna be heading towards mid, I think. And they're gonna, or they have Lina Rubik safe lane, either way works. But I'm not a big fan of throwing Centaur offlane solo, so maybe Io helps him out a bit. I'm not too sure how CIS Reject will lane this. I feel like Centaur, if he loses his offlane and gets under level on the farm, he's kind of useless.
Centaur, I guess, can
10
kind of be
seconds
very similar
remaining.
to that combo I was describing earlier with Io Legion Commander, where you just
5
go and run
seconds
at the
remaining.
enemies and just try to bring them down. I'm not sure exactly if that works quite as well.
Reserve time.
I guess they could run like Rubik Tiny as the other dual lane and put Alina mid. I definitely see CIS Rejects getting away with a couple of things here. The thing is, I don't really know if any of those combinations would be stronger than Newteam's
10
lanes right now.
seconds
Like
remaining.
Bristleback, Clinks, Queen of Pain, 100% self-sufficient heroes. Add a Lich on top of that, like just the denies is going to make things really bad for CIS Rejects. But add Lich as slow on top of like Clinks' damage or Bristleback's follow-up, and I don't care who you are, you're going to be taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think Newteam's the last pick really around what they draft. I think not only is it good for them, but it really punishes CIS Rejects draft. Centaur is quite weak in the offlane, so they can have Kling survive in there, and then they can either have Cop mid or Cop Lich offlane. Like either works. Like they can have so strong lanes here, I feel like, and I think they will just win all 3 lanes, maybe even.
Well, as I said before, we have seen CIS Rejects usually take a CS lead, and you know, though they may drop a couple kills, they're able to pull it through regardless. It is difficult to take a CS lead up against
10
these
seconds
Newteam
remaining.
laners. In fact, given every single hero on their side, perhaps not the Winter
5
Wyvern, but I would say
seconds
these are
remaining.
all strong laners, like across the board from Newteam. So it is going to be difficult for the CIS Rejects to get really a foothold into this game. That being said, they're working with a lot of burst, like a lot of burst. They got the Lina, of course, we all know how bursty she can be. This Io Tiny, well, I guess just the Tiny, but he could just insta-give people no problem whatsoever. And Centaur also is no slouch when it comes to damage. So the turnaround potential for CIS Rejects certainly is there. They just have to make sure not to get too far behind in the early game laning stage. I think that's really going to be what determines the majority of this game.
Yeah, if CIS Rejects manage to complete do their laning okay and deal with the Newteam's strong lanes in a decent way, I think they are looking very strong in mid game. If Tiny gets a blink or something, together with Centaur, they can do a lot of work on heroes that are kind of squishy. It's like only Bristle who's really tanky. Tiny, if he gets on top of Cop or
30
Kings, he can
seconds to
kind of
battle.
kill both of them very fast. And I'm a bit worried about that for Newteam, but I think their laning will be so strong that they might be able to overcome that weakness.
Yeah, they may get burst down a couple of times, but the rest of the heroes that don't get hit with that burst will be able to salvage the fight afterwards. So we'll see. It, of course, is going to come down to the play style. Let's see who's going to be playing what right now. CIS Rejects going to be putting, I believe that's Goretz. Yes, it is on the Centaur War Runner. We got Vangscore on the Io. Up towards the top, it's Always Want to Fly on the Rubik. Iceberg is on the Tiny. And KS is on the Lina, who should be just the regular last player. But I'm going to check it out real fast, guys. It should just be Arties on the Lina, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, it might be. I'm not too sure.
Yeah. We'll just call him KS. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, on the bottom lane from Newteam we have Goblock on Lich and Seedoy on Bristle. They dual laned previously with the Night Stalker. That was the game where Night Stalker has dominated completely. And in mid lane we have Joku playing the co-op, as well as No Fear with the Vyvan playing maybe best support hero for these 8,000 matchmaking points supports, you know, Saxa and No Fear. And Lynx, who's that now again? Oh, I forgot.
I think that should be FN, unless they, like,
Yeah,
swapped it out or something.
yeah, they talked about FN having some issues, but it should be FN, so it probably is FN.
There's a lot of regen up here. 8 tangos, and looks like that is going to be a pretty good read. He's going up against Alina, so it's definitely a lane that he is going to be taking some shots in. It's not going to be that Centaur lane, in which case all that regen is probably just going to rot away in his inventory. But this Centaur on the bottom lane versus Lich is already kind of rough. Like, you get the denies flowing, and Lich is going to eventually accrue an experience lead. And I already mentioned earlier, the Bristleback and Lich combination, you just Frost Blast, you run in. Pretty much every single time you do that, you either do a lot of damage for free, or you force out a Hoof Stomp. And either way, as Newteam, that's perfectly fine for this dual off lane. This Centaur is still going to get experience, but he has to be very careful about how close he gets to this creep wave.
Yeah, and Lich can sacrifice now in the lane without giving opponents experience. He doesn't have to run back to his tower and deny, so he's a lot more efficient. When he's level 2, he's a lot more potent than he used to be. However, I'm a bit surprised by Newteam's laning. I talked about Bristle being really good versus IO Tiny, and I think Cop Lich would have been strong. And in mid lane, Cop is going to take a lot of damage, and only one auto attack from both of those to get a first blood. This is the weakness that I was worrying about. Why are they not running Hop Lich bottom and putting Bristle mid and having Lich kind of maybe semi-rotating? Because I think Centaur is doing better on this lane than he would have against Hop Lich, and Hop is doing worse than a Bristle would have had.
Maybe, I mean, you always have to consider the fact that maybe hero player assignments factors somewhat into it. Like, Seedoy, or can the mid laner play Bristleback, right? That's really the question, and, you know, who knows? Maybe the answer to that is no, but I think at this level of play, the answer should most of the time be yes. The Queen of Pain, as I said before, is most of the time going to survive the burst combo. If it does land, it's going to be pretty delayed, so it's not going to be the full burst, and then she would be able to blink out. She's putting some daggers into Iceberg, but the bottle's already ticking for Bank score right now, so Yoku's damage onto this Tiny or Io really is not going to be sticking for very long. Still, the Queen of Pain is doing just fine right now. The Bristleback is doing just fine as well. But and then, of course, we have this top lane, where this Clinks is going toe-to-toe with the Lina. For the most part, should be an even lane, but the threat of Rubik Lina is very, very high right now. The soft hero of the Clinks, if he gets lifted up, if he gets hit with an LSA, he may not die outright, but he's certainly going to have to use like a salve or a lot of tangos to kind of counterbalance that.
Yeah, and Centaur decides to head for jungle, kind of pulling and trying to get some extra farm in jungle. Pretty smart by him, being as efficient as possible. Also gonna get a lot more experience than the dual lane. Even though they have a Lich, he's gonna be same level as the Bristle probably, with this wave at least. So some nice plays by him. He blocked the clamps, they couldn't pull through though, so that was really nice for them as well. So they're not gonna lose that much experience in that. Could have been somewhat bad for the dual lane down here.
You know, I think if Lich is really going to be a mainstay pick in this patch, then partnering up with Bristleback is actually, I feel like, going to be taking off, or at least, you know, Lich Doom or something like that. Like, Lich and these naturally tanky heroes is really going to do some serious work. The Centaur's fine still for right now, but eventually Seedoy is just going to look to dump his mana pool into the Centaur. Already has that 1 point in view, so over mid lane, Avalanche toss onto the Queen of Pain, blink out just in time. Yoku's again going to play it very, very close, but it's on bottom lane where they're finally going to make their go onto the Centaur, keeping out of Hoof Stomp range, trying to force it out. They don't, and with the stick charge, the Centaur is going to be just fine, but what was committed here from Newteam. A little bit of mana from the Lich. He could sacrifice that back in, and Cdoy has a Ring of Basilius working for him. They also do have Tango's or regeneration enough to keep on going, so Centaur not going to die just yet, nor is the Queen of Pain, but it's a very delicate situation in really all three of these lanes.
Yeah, I think the lanes are pretty even. Cop is doing really good in last hit mid, surprisingly doing this well. I was...
Toss.
Yeah, that's a dead swap. Not really sure what he was thinking. He was like, I'm gonna get this poison Shadow Strike off no matter what.
Maybe just like not looking at Iceberg's mana, because Tiny doesn't really have a great mana pool, but he has actually Magic Wand, and of course an IO behind him. Most of the time he's gonna have, if not full mana, enough mana, that 240 magic mana mark where he could just insta-give you. And that's really not supposed to be happening in this lane. Like, the only way Tiny actually gets close enough is by walking, and though he does have Tethered to walk a little bit faster, Queen of Pain will be able to blink out, or should be able to blink out most of the time. So just a small slip up there from Yoku, and he's going to end up costing First Blood, and it is Tiny to grab it as well. The stack situation in the jungle is non-existent, however, so it's not all bad for Yoku. It's just a little bad. He gets a little bit close again. Avalanche toss, a lot of damage. This Queen of Pain, though, does have a regen rune, so this time it's not bad at all.
Oh, could he go aggressive here? It's a long cooldown on Blink. So he probably couldn't. He probably would die by the hands of Iceberg here with the Avalanche toss, though. But if he hits 6 here, nicely timed, he could potentially get a double kill, actually.
He just needs a couple more creeps. If these two creeps die and Iceberg and Bankscore are still sticking around, just Blink, Scream, Sonic Wave is going to be enough. They're actually going to teleport someone in. No.
He cancelled. Not sure about that. I think Yoku will hit 6 here though before the rune spawns, so he can probably get a solo kill on either Ion or Tiny when they try and get the rune.
It may look like Iceberg is an easier kill right now, but he actually has more HP than the IO.
And no first rotating in
is level 6, but the targets are escaping. And now Bankscore is going to grab the rune and should be able to top both of these two heroes out. It's only a bounty, so nothing great there for the IO, but yeah, either way, Queen of Pain lost that opportunity. Whether or not it actually was enough to get the kill, I mean, I think we both believe it was, but just not quite getting enough experience fast enough. But still, she's holding on to this threat, and now with both the Lich and the Winter Wyvern finally converging, they're looking to shut them both down. They want both those kills, not just one. But Bankscore is chugging his bottle pretty quickly, and Iceberg is pretty darn healthy at this stage. Lich and Winter Wyvern not exactly known for their ganking.
Yeah, and it was nice by Iceberg to follow to the rune. Otherwise, I think I would have died. Even Rupert rotating in because he was worried about the fact that they could just get destroyed if they ran to the rune. They were in Cop at 6. However, Centaur doing quite well and lost it. 22 Iceberg is gonna go aggressive.
No, he's gonna have a toss. However, he's gonna die here for sure. The tether snaps, and so does Tiny. Bankscore dropping super low as well. Yoku has a pretty good idea where Bankscore is. Now sees him, so just one Scream of Pain is going to do him in, although a couple more right clicks. Looks like they're going to give it to Yoku. Well done, No Fear. Not going to, give in to temptation and steal that kill, even though we saw it. Queen of Pain is going to draw 2 kills over in the mid lane, or at least, get 2 kills for the team in the mid lane. Now level 7, and the CIS reject side, it's about this time after they both die where they want to have stacks to fall back on and try to make up for those deaths. But again, that's just not happening. The IO has not had much time to leave this Tiny alone.
Yeah, and CIS rejects are doing okay last hits, but they're all being blinking out just in time. Probably wouldn't have gone down, but would have taken a lot of damage. They're just a little bit ahead of their counterpart. Bristle is 1 last hit ahead of Lina. Klings is 5 from Tiny, and Cop is 5 from Centaur in that order. So they're just winning a little right now on the side of Newteam on their lanes, and they have 2 kills in comparison to CSS Reject 1.
Threat is mounting, however, up towards the top lane. Lina is actually going to run to a couple heroes. Always on Fly going to run to the Lich, however. He does throw the Lich back, but with the Clinks right on his ass, Rubik's not going anywhere. He's going to fall as it is enough damage to kill off the Rubik. Lina, fortunately for Newteam, not quite at that level 6 mark, just 12 experience away. Could have put a lot of damage back into any given hero Newteam. Definitely enough to kill off the Clinks there as well. So Iceberg, he's going to charge the Queen of Pain. Avalanche is not available. Stampede is. Toss up. Avalanche is needed. Right clicks not enough. Now the Lich is going to make his arrival. Avalanche completely blind is going to whiff completely, and now Bankscore is going to drop. And Iceberg's still going to pick a fight with the Queen of Pain. Tosses her up. Gets the kill. Now is probably looking for a neutral die. No teleport out, and Go Black, No Fear. They don't have any way of interrupting this. And he's going to get away alive, so it's an IO for a Queen of Pain after all is said and done. That was incredibly bold from Iceberg, but hey, not punished. That's going to give him his kill and a clean escape.
Yeah, it looked like it was gonna be horrible for them, and then Iceberg just like tosses Yoki and gets a free kill. I'm like, what just happened? That was bad situation. It looked like a bad situation, but suddenly it actually favored Iceberg there, especially him. Got a lot of gold and looking to get a pretty early blink at this rate. If that's what it decides to go, I would personally prefer the blink. And with a centaur who's really farmed as well, he's up to 1400 gold.
KS lands an LSA, tries to TP out. Unfortunately, it wasn't a 2-man. Just the Queen of Pain got hit by that, and whatever is able to snag that kill. The Lina has been kind of silent up on the top lane, even with the threat of Lina Rubik. It just wasn't enough to kill off that Klinks, who was still getting last hits, still getting a lot of experience. So this Lina kind of wasting a lot of time where Lina is at her prime, still is level 6, and still can do a lot, but up on the top lane, it doesn't seem like that's really the place to be if you're going to be getting those kills. The Klinks, the target, the one that you want to go for, has since left and is now on the roam. Is going to run into Iceberg, as well as the Io. Gets a perfect read on both of them with Lich right around the corner with the Chain Frost. This can be very bad. Banks already dropped super low with a couple of shots from the Klinks, and that's going to be 1 kill already. Iceberg looking for a toss onto Lich, will land it, do a lot of damage, and will get the kill. No Chain Frost in time, but Iceberg really doesn't have that much escape here. Jump in from Yoku's going to grab the kill with a Scream. Now Sido is going to arrive as well, getting the slow into the Rubik, beating him down. Double kill from whatever, as somehow he's able to grab both of those kills. It's a 1 for 3 trade, and the Klinks assassination starts very, very early this game.
Yeah, what a rotation from Klinks. Finding, I would say, quite lucky, Tiny Whisper, where he saw that Tiny used all his spells. He could actually just go on IO, because he knows that there's no Toss Avalanche that could kill him. He gets a free kill, and then rotation from his team, and he gets the kill on Tiny as well. So it was some really nice plays from especially the Klinks there, and they got quite a lot of gold there. Even though I'm a bit worried about Centaur getting so much farm, I feel like he should have had a harder time, but Van score again.
He actually messes up and throws 1 normal arrow. Don't think that really would have mattered. Bankscore is able to get away. Now Iceberg looking for an Avatos onto whatever, who still doesn't have Skeleton Walk just yet. Avalanche is still on cooldown. Toss is there. Avalanche a little bit delayed. Is there True Sight? Is there enough damage? There isn't. These spirits? Nope. Klinks walks away. No problem.
Yeah, I think I was a bit worried about getting sniped with a lost saving arrows. So he probably fell back because of that reason. Could have maybe killed FN even. And FN is gonna go back to lane because he has the death pact, I mean, so it's quite efficient for him while IO being forced to go back to base.
Whatever makes a short excursion out of the lane, doesn't slow his farm down by too much because he gets a couple of kills while he leaves. And again, as level 9 Klinks, that's really not something you would expect him to get, 2 kills there in the enemy jungle. Usually it's just going to be farm time, get your medallion up, get a little bit towards your Desolator, and then make that rotation out. But that rotation out from FN worked very well for him, and these items are coming up slowly but surely on Newteam. Looks like it's an Aghanim set for Quap, got a Vanguard on Bristleback, and of course Medallion Desolator should be the build-up for FN. Not to say that CIS Rejects are farming poorly. Tiny has a Blink Dagger, but he has yet to use it. We'll see how much blood he can get on his hands. This is the explosive item if you want to be ganking. They're going to go towards bottom lane first. Relocate is coming in. The catch Yoku right now with the LSA. Toss the Seadoy right on top of him for a 2-man avalanche. Queen of Pain down already. Chain Frost not going to do a ton as they do split off successfully. However, the IO does drop regardless of that fact. Lich beaten down by Iceberg. Now the lift up onto Seadoy. Vanguard or not, he's going to take a lot of damage here. In fact, that's going to be dead Bristleback. And that is No Fear's arrival now. Gonna try to go for Always Wanna Fly. The Klink's arriving as well, slaying the Lina. Now Iceberg's the only one alive. Blinks in, Avalanche, toss a little bit late. But still should be enough to kill this Winter Wyvern. No, it's not. Klinks is still shooting, and Iceberg is gonna fall. It's a triple kill for FN, and it's a 5 for 3 exchange as CIS Rejects all hit the deck.
Yeah, it looked really good for CIS Rejects, I'd say, for a little bit. It would probably been a pretty even exchange, but then Iceberg decides to kind of feed himself. So I understand why he went for Winter Wyvern, but he would die there no matter what. Even if he got the kill, he would die. So it was some big mistake by him. And,
I feel like the Avalanche of Tiny in this game has like a much longer cooldown than usual. Like whenever he jumps in, it's always like 3 seconds away from Avalanche. So if it works out with the timings, then he probably insta-gibs the Winter Wyvern. He may still die there, but at least he gets that kill. But instead, it's FN to once again collect huge. He didn't even have his medallion there. Of course, now he will grab that. Winter Wyvern also a survivor there, but that look to start things off really good for CIS Reject, as you said. The Tiny really tanky, the Lina doing her job, finally dropping Laguna Blade. But for Newteam, the fact that Klinks was the survivor, that's going to be ideal for them, because this guy is going to be able to assassinate quite a few heroes in this game. Like Centaur, Tiny, yeah, on the tankier end, but up against a Desolator, no one's really safe.
Yeah, and the center went down first in that exchange. Was a really nice kill by Newteam, but I think the relay kit was pretty nice. Center was very close to Blink there. He was up to 2,000 gold when he died. So the timing they hit Center was pretty much perfect, because they delay his Blink by several minutes just by that one play. And even though it was kind of risky play, because they got relay kit on, it could have turned really bad. But in the end, it didn't, and they punished Centaur for trying to rush Blink Tiger, and now Klinks is really big, and the Roche potential is really potent for Newteam. They have Lich, who can give Frost Armor or Ice Armor to help out to take Roche, so he doesn't do as much damage. They have Winter Wyvern, who also can like help out to tank it, and then they have Bristle and Klinks, who are the big damage dealers to Roshan, and they could easily take Roche in a matter of seconds.
It almost just doesn't get better than that for Newteam. Like maybe swap out a Slardar for the Bristleback or something like that. But aside from that, Roshan, if it is going to be attempted by Newteam, is going to be cleared out extremely quickly. And CIS Rejects, they do have a decent lineup for crashing a Roshan fight, especially with that Stampede. But with no Blink Dagger on the Centaur, I think if Newteam actually just respawn, go straight into the Roche pit, they could probably get away with that.
Yeah, I think they could. I'm not sure if they'll feel confident enough though. They are towers up, so opponents could TP in, and they know that Tiny has a Blink, so Tiny is really strong at this stage. And they might not know that they killed Centaur before it has his Blink. I think they're assuming that Centaur is further away from Blink than he actually is though. I think they assumed the tri-lane, the dual lane was really good, but Centaur has played really well with getting some small farms in jungle, and he's like 500 gold ahead, and I think he should be kinda because of those plays. So I think if he can manage to get a Blink before Roche attempt on Newteam or before a fight, I think they could just win a team fight with Blink on Tiny and Centaur. It's so potent right now, and it's like only Bristle who can actually survive that combo. Even Klinks, even if you eat in a creep, he's in the danger zone.
Especially with all the substantial follow-up. If you land a Stomp, you're definitely going to land an LSA. You're definitely going to have the option for an Avatos. Of course, he has his own Blink Dagger, so Tiny has that much more flexibility, but the follow-up is definitely there. Not like they even need it. Like, Centaur does a lot of damage if you're able to get in there with the double edge. That's 400 magic. That is a lot. And of course, you have the Rubik throwing in his spells, the IO spirits. A Blink Dagger is a necessity here for the Centaur, and he just needs to find just a little bit of time to get it. That death really set him back, though. Like, dying there when you're that close to Blink Dagger, it hurts, man. And especially since he couldn't get the Stampede off, so wasn't able to give that boost to his allies.
Yeah, it could have been if he had respawned and popped his Stampede while the Free was still alive before Lina went down. That could have been amazing, because they could have maybe even turned and killed the Klinks who cleaned up everyone. So a bit unfortunate that he had a long respawn timer. And Klinks gonna try and find IO maybe, but there's a sentry, so he will die if he goes there.
They're gonna jump in towards mid instead. It's the Lich to get cratered. Centaur is going to try to steal the kill, I think, for his Blink Dagger with that Stampede, which was completely unnecessary, but unfortunately not quite there yet. One double edge on this creep wave. He's going to get the Blink Dagger, almost. 20 gold, he'll get it. So Blink Dagger now up on the Centaur. Tower may even fall here. Then for Newteam, where's the response? They definitely can respond to this. Queen of Pain really slowly incoming, however. Yoki does not have his Aghanim Scepter just yet, nor does he have his Sonic Wave, so seems like this is going to be a pretty good timing, coincidentally, perhaps, for CIS Rejects to get the Blink Dagger on Centaur, then with the double Blinks, just go around stomping people, both literally and figuratively.
Two-man smoke from Also Wanna Fly and Lina here. I'm surprised they don't smoke with the Blink arrows. I'm not really sure why they did this way. They're gonna go into enemy jungle. I think they saw the Klinks earlier, so they are hoping to find them. Dust on Always Wanna Fly dead. This Klinks is so dead.
Yep, Blink Stomp is actually going to miss, but he's going to die regardless, or he should die with the relocate especially. Suddenly 5 heroes. Not exactly the greatest showing of Centaur there, but you know what? They're going to jump in anyway. Look for the Winter Wyvern. There's a toss, no avalanche. Iceberg taking a lot of damage, but now here comes the Centaur. Blink in, 2-man hoof stomp onto No Fear, dropping him very low with the Dragon Tail. They'll get the kill. LSA is going to kill off the Lich. And now they're on to the rest of the little Rubik getting a little bit too ahead of the rest of the team. Will get blown up by Yoku, but it's only a 1-man Sonic Wave. And there's another toss available. LSA is there. Yoku's going to fall. Sidoi's going to slip away, but that's because he was just ignored. They put no skills into him whatsoever. Everyone else from Newteam gets demolished, and now the tower is also going to drop. Blink daggers, they're pretty good, I think. Yeah, and we can see why.
Yeah, those blink daggers really making a difference there. Great counter initiation, I'd say, from Centaur. Tiny kinda got caught in a weird position, so he was like getting, he would have gotten hammered down, but then Centaur comes in with a really nice hoof stomp as well as double edge to follow up. Didn't even have Stampede in that fight, and they still destroy Newteam, so not looking too strong for Newteam. Klings got caught up before the fight though, so maybe he can have some more impact, hopefully, at least.
CIS Rejects need to do what they just did a couple more times, because at the end of that fight, Newteam still have a slight golden experience lead. Of course, a lot of that is thanks to that Lich being the denier, but still, it's CIS Rejects need to go for a little bit more. They're going to run the Lina into a couple heroes right now. Whatever's right in position, but so is always want to fly to play defensively. He's going to have to lift up onto the wrong hero, though. Whatever's going to show himself. A couple more shots. Stampede is there. Splinter Blast not going to be targeted on the Lina. On the Rubik back. Here comes Relocate. Almost going to instantly give this Cling. Just needs one more spell to cast. Chain Frost, stolen by Always Want to Fly, is going to return it and kill off the Lich with that spell. A little bit of karma there. Lina's getting chased down by Sidor. In the meantime, Iceberg trying to go for No Fear. Tosses him up. Is going to start beating him down with the Blink Dagger. He'll get that kill. Sidor gives up on the Lina. Now Iceberg's in a 2v1. Has an avalanche toss combo. He's going to miss it, though. Gets fogged on the uphill. And now has got to leave. He's going to try to TP out. The burst damage isn't quite there. He's going to get out of there, but
no.
Goretz wants in. He's going to jump right in with the hoof stomp. Unable to kill off the Queen of Pain, though. And now he's the one who's going to be in an awkward spot. Dropped from the Scream on the high ground. But still for CIS Rejects, that was actually a pretty decent fight. The fact that Iceberg survives there is actually really huge. And of course, the Lina also does slip away.
Yeah, it was a pretty good fight. Unfortunately, Santa goes ahead and gives away a pretty big bounty. I think he expected Iceberg to cancel the TP, but Iceberg took way too much damage from the bristle, so couldn't really cancel that. He would have went down, and now Santa just died instead, which was pretty costly. And bottom lane, it's just gonna poke, not committing for that at all. Has the Aghanim's in 900 gold. Also, Bristle getting quite farmed there, getting up to 7k now, and only Tiny above him, even though Tiny is a lot above. He's the only one that's that farmed on the side of CIS Rejects.
Once he gets this, what probably is going to be SNY, ignoring this Bristleback is no longer really going to become a viable option. At that point, he can stick onto anyone and do a hell of a lot of damage in the process. The Lina's actually gone for a Bloodstone first. What do you think about this build? I don't think we actually see Bloodstone first very often on Lina, especially after they changed the Bloodstone, but Yule Scepter, Aghanim Scepter, I think those are probably just better. We got a smoke up. They're actually going to run into each other. Smoke's going to blow and Always Want to Fly. Pop the smoke onto whatever right now. Jump in, hoof stomp, double edge. It's not going to be enough. Now the curse on Always Want to Fly. He can't steal anything useful right now. He'll get dropped even though he's invis. Iceberg and Vangstor are getting cut off by Yoku in the south, and in the meantime, Vangstor will drop first. They will get the stun and Laguna Blade on Sidoi, kill him off with a nice Sonic Wave, and Chain Frost is going to drop the Lina and Centaur extremely low. They'll drop the Lina. No Fear will die in exchange. Iceberg going to blink right in, doing a lot of damage with the DD rune. Avalanche toss onto the Lich will get that kill. Whatever is still firing, but it's not doing enough damage at this point. Iceberg is doing so much more with 400 damage a pop. Is looking for this Clinks. Unfortunately for them, the dust wore off. It's an even 3-for-3 exchange. And ultimately, it's actually a very even fight. Only a 400 gold gain over Newteam for CIS Rejects.
Yeah, that's pretty much even fight. And it doesn't really give a team any map control or any objectives, so even if the team fight is even the result is even, because no one is really gaining anything from it. But FM's Bloodstone had a big impact there actually. If he hadn't healed Centaur and Tiny, they would have both went down. So they got an extra kill thanks to that Bloodstone. So it was a good pickup, I'd say.
Yeah, hindsight, such stuff like that. It worked out this time, but again, like, this Lina clearly doesn't have the very aggressive ganking plan. I think the Yule Scepter, rather, is going to be that item selection. She wants to play this game a little bit slower and kind of the invest for the late game type build. this Staff of Wizardry, I want to say, should be a Aghanim's build, but yeah, I don't really know if she's going to go for Yule Scepter now. It just seems like a weird sequencing. Good items, but bad order, I think. They're looking for Seedoy and go back down towards bottom lane, lift up the Bristleback. The rest of the heroes, though, going to go for the Lich. They crush him immediately. No Fear's going to fly over the trees. Seedoy now stuck, completely surrounded, but he's tanky enough to just walk away from that one. Iceberg does grab his Aghanim Scepter mid-fight. Going to show that one off to Newteam, but that's a super dead Lich. I don't think they can get anything else, however. It's still a kill for CIS Rejects, and it's a kill that goes unpunished.
Yeah, a nice kill. They got a tower as well, I think, during that push. Yeah, they did. So, very nice exchange for them. And not the biggest of trades, but still anything in favor is good. They can see Klengs. Oh, this is bad. He's pretty fast. It's kind of hard for Santa to imitate.
Not going to get dusted. It was just out of range. However, he's still taking a lot of damage. Now getting hit with the Embrace. Laguna Blade's going to be deployed onto Seedoy from the side, reduced a little bit. Now the Chain Frost. Bad place for CIS Rejects to be right now, but they're going to split pretty well. Still taking a lot of damage from it. Centaur's still alive. Got a 3-man hoof stomp at the back line, letting everyone else retreat. Centaur's going to fall, as will the Io. Iceberg is super low at this stage. Can't blink in because of the dagger. Now Sonic Wave returned by Always Wanna Fly, but again, it's just not enough damage. Lina does TP out. Always Wanna Fly also may survive. It's a 1-for-2 trade, but man, CS Rejects doing a lot better than I thought. Once that Chain Frost drops, you would think they would just all die, but no, they were able to split it out pretty well.
Where is Thunder God's Breath when you need it?
Yeah.
That was...
Triple kill.
Yeah, it was pretty weird fight. You saw Klings getting initiated on when he was invis. So they know they stunned Klings, but they had no detection on him, so they were like, what are we supposed to do? I'm not like we can't attack him because he's invis, but he's at this position. It was really funny watching them. And then like Newteam panics and tries to help Klings, even though there's nothing to kill Klings on. So the team fight was completely unnecessarily. They could just left Klings and they could run out easily. But pretty even in the end, I would say again. The problem for Lina is still -2 Bloodstone charge. Gonna go for Jules next. I was gonna talk about this as well. I think the reason behind Bloodstone is because they already have Blink initiators on Tiny and Centaur, so Lina doesn't have to initiate at all, so she can just go tank and be more of a long run DPS, like being able to stand in fight for a long time, just throw out spells everywhere, while she relies on Centaur and Tiny to initiate, so she doesn't need the use necessarily, but she's gonna go it either way, which I think she could have skipped it, to be honest. I think she could have gone like Blink Aghanim or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I could buy that justification, at least for Bloodstone first. I don't think, like, keeping that reasoning, the Yule Scepter afterwards has kind of a diminishing returns. Not like you're purging off a silence or anything like that from Newteam, at least not yet, but Aghanim Scepter probably would have been my preferred build. It would have still kept her building up health, right? Like, that's what Aghanim Scepter also does give you in addition to the additional Laguna Blade damage. But either way, I'm pretty sure all of those items are going to be coming up sooner or later here for this Lina. At least that should be her plan. Speaking of items for Newteam, however, we got a Desolator now completed on the Clinks, so the Assassination power definitely is there. S&Y on the Bristleback, and Aghanim Scepter is up on the Queen of Pain, so Newteam, they're ready to go as well. But this Tiny's still leading net worth. He has his jumps, has Aghanim, another 1,800 gold in the bank. He's probably going to get another tower pretty darn swiftly, just with the overcharged beatdown. Tower's not fortifiable, will drop. No Fear's going to land the Curse, and the Iceberg does pretty much nothing except for hold him back a little bit. Whatever's going to look to assassinate Bank's score right now. 1-shot, 2-shot, 3-shot. Stomp is going to come in, as well as the Avalanche, whatever. Still surviving, however, with the Embrace. Laguna Blade's going to be deployed. They will kill off the Clinks eventually. Now they're on to Seedoy. Always Wanna Fly going to lift them up. He still has a Sonic Wave ready deployed. Now stealing the Chain Frost immediately from the Lich. Does nothing though, because it doesn't bounce. Centaur is going to get stuck in the trees and will die himself. And Seedoy is going to run rampant right now. Sonic Wave now onto the Lina. Will get the kill. Double damage on Yoku. And still don't Always Wanna Fly. Gets a triple kill off of it. And Iceberg has got to bail. He'll blink up to the north. He'll TP out. He'll be just fine. But unfortunate for the Rubik there that he just had the Sonic Wave and had the Chain Frost. It just wasn't the right time to use it. It's a 4-for-1 exchange in favor of Newteam.
Yeah, looked really good for Newteam at the start. Unfortunately, Kings went down for them, but they still won the team fight in the end. Lina is down to 4 Bloodstone charges, and it's not looking too good for her. On the other hand, Tiny didn't really get anything there, so... Oh, he's gonna find... No, actually, it's Kop gonna find Iceberg. That was
No
weird.
mana though, so she has to leave. They get the Yule Scepter, and Avalanche toss on Yoku, but it doesn't have that much follow-up. Toss on a Seedoy as well, gonna do quite a bit of damage, but Yoku's just gonna teleport away. Yeah, that's No Fear gone as well, Seedoy. And Go Black, they're all gonna get away, really. Thought they would at least get somebody there, but no, everyone coming in just a little bit too slow. Still getting chased down for Seedoy. There is a stampede, there's a relocate. Whatever's right next to him, but whatever's looking for another opportunity right now. They land the avalanche, toss him back a little bit into a hoof stomp. With the beatdown for the time, they should be able to get this kill, and they will. Whatever is going to assassinate the Rubik in the meantime. Now trying to go for Iceberg, falls short, however, as KS deploys the Laguna Blade. They're going to jump forward. No Fear looking to body block. No, it's just going to glimmer himself out of there, as the Lich is actually going to get caught. Here's a short relocate, super short, just a blink dagger essentially, but they get onto the Lich and No Fear both. Kill off the Lich, now Iceberg looking for avalanche toss combo onto this dragon. He'll bring him down. Yoku's still in the area, but Iceberg is going to turn and fight to the death. Will fall. Lina with the Yule Scepter. No, that was actually Queen of Pain's Yule Scepter. Can actually chase the Centaur down for another kill. He will get it. Triple kill for Yoku. Godlike spree for him. And it's again just everyone to die in, for the most part, another even fight.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Yeah, they're
attack.
diving base at minute 25 when tier 2s are still standing. You know, this is CIS Dota. They are named CIS rejects. That's what they do, and they feed away like, I would, let's say, like 2k gold to cop or more. So, not sure if it's worth it. Probably not. At least Lina survives, so they got something going for them.
Lina is going to be now up to 8 Bloodstone charges, so you know, you may fluctuate in your Bloodstone charges somewhat, but that's working out pretty well for her. Yule Scepter also setting up on that initial LSA onto the Bristleback. I don't think was able to land on anyone useful following that, but hey, I mean, Yule Scepter is still a pretty good item no matter when you get it. But now, who knows, maybe Aghanim Scepter would have been better there. Again, not going to harp on it. It is another move now from Newteam. They're going to smoke up. They do have the Desolator now by Clink, so going for Roshan is super easy.
This will go down in like 10 seconds, probably.
Roshan just feels kind of weak right now. He's going to drop. The rest of the CS rejects are coming in mighty quick. The problem is, IO Tiny, they're not in a good spot right now. They have to relocate in. No Fear's going to get hit with the Stomp initially. He's going to get blown up by the Laguna Blade. But still for Newteam, they're okay with making this trade. Always Want to Fly is going to steal Blink. Blink out of there. Relocation to the back line. Chainfrost's going to bounce through onto Bank Score in the meantime. He'll drop first. Iceberg doing what he can. Can do a lot of cleave damage here, but he just can't find a good target. The Dragon Slave is going to be deployed, but Cedo is just going to drive away KS at the stage. Jump in. Centaur's going to have his Hoof Stomp canceled by the toss, and he misses it in the end. Cedo is just going to go 1v4 right now, and I think he can get away with it, even with his face turned to the enemy. Joku's going to jump to the back line, kill off the Lina with the ultimate. Now Cedo is getting body blocked a little bit by the Centaur, but he's just going to walk out. Again, there's not much threat here. Always Want to Fly going to steal the Sonic Wave, and then we'll deploy it towards the Queen of Pain. Gets the kill on the Aegis. The Bristleback and Lich, but they're still alive. They cannot help. Queen of Pain needs to leave right now, but gets Avatos. Yule Scepter not up. And she will get chased down. Will Yule's instead the Tiny gets the ice armor. It looks like they should not be able to catch up to her. She'll be fine.
Radiant's top tower
I'm really
is under
surprised
attack.
he survived that. And I'm not sure how Hoof Stomp was used, but it was on cooldown when she spawned. Maybe he could have maybe not used it before. I'm not sure if he had to. Wasn't really paying attention. But
Radiant's bottom tower
I guess
is
even fighting then, Cop survived, thank God. Otherwise it would have been really good for CIS rejects. But it was a weird fight. Cedo just dodged like 5 stunts in a row. Like Tiny and Centaur missed like everything when they tried to kill Cedo. So it was really hard to determine who got out ahead in that fight, because Tiny is like, all the gold is going into Tiny. He's the only one that's like really farming. On the other side, Cop is doing quite well, Briss is doing quite well. So it's really hard to determine like who is in the lead in this game. It feels like it's only team fight, and who wins the team fight will get an advantage. But all the team fights are pretty much even.
Yeah. Nobody's been winning the team fights, or at least not decisively. Seedoy is moving at a pretty consistent 460-ish movement speed, and as far as the Tiny getting gold, it is kind of what CIS rejects want, but at the same time, we saw in that last fight, he just struggled to actually find a target. He was glimmered in between a whole bunch of heroes, could have gone for anyone, but really was not able to land a hit on anyone there. Newteam were playing around that Tiny very, very well, and he just couldn't find his target, so a Tiny that's not swinging is a pretty bad hero, and Bank Score always dying so super quickly because of the Chain Frost, the Sonic Wave, the Clink Assassination. The overcharge is just not going to be there that often. Newteam are, I think, slightly better positioned here for CIS rejects, but only slightly. They're going to try to go for a tower down towards bottom lane. It's a tier 1. It should drop for free. It may be fortified, but that's just not going to do anything here. The Sonic Wave is still stolen by Always Want to Fly, and if he gets steal another Chain Frost, this Rubik has the potential of dropping some serious bombs into Newteam if they're not prepared for it.
Yeah, I always want to play. I've been playing amazing. I think he has been playing the best in this game so far, stealing some big sonic waves and also lit shot immediately afterwards. And he's been just getting these amazing steals off, which have been keeping them in the fights. I feel like they would have lost several fights if he didn't get these steals. But tower taken for a new team, and they're banking. Tiny is just destroying this mid tower now, so even trades in tower, but probably favoring CIS rejects, getting closer to the Rex.
And once you have the tier 3s and Raxes exposed, Vangscore and Iceberg can do some pretty ridiculous things with split push or even backdoor if it does come to it. Really just having 3 heroes walk in, having the Tiny and Io kind of on standby with the relocate, at the same time beating down on tier 3s and Raxes. It gets to be a pretty troublesome situation there for Newteam, where they do have to either split their forces or kill off the Centaur, Lina, and Rubik immediately by the time the relocate comes in. And I don't really know if that's in the cards at this stage. They are still positioned pretty aggressively, CIS Rejects. Looks like they still want to fight, and they may actually catch Seedor right now. It's the toughest target to kill, but it's a definite possibility right now. Toss is there, Avalanche is not up again, but a Blink Hoof Stomp, Avalanche now they're going to get to the front of him and beat down. Tiny's going to get dropped super quickly, always want to fly using that Sonic Wave. It is going to expire before he's able to cast it again, but still Bristleback down for a minute is a lot of the damage and sustainability down for Newteam. They may lose this tier 3.
Yeah, especially with Tiny just coming, he's gonna beat this down pretty fast. There's no like R items to enhance it. Doesn't know. Oh yeah, that's AC actually. I thought he was gonna go R item. So he's gonna just destroy this. Actually, Ice Armor, pretty damn strong. His armor would be dead now if that Ice Armor wasn't up.
Still at 22, plus 2 armor. Ice armor stolen by Always Wanna Fly, so suddenly Iceberg has 33 armor. That just doesn't seem fair. The Ice armor is gonna drop. At least Lich will drop the ball on that, and now they're just going to go for melee Raxes. With no Bristleback, there's no fight here. And can you even cast Ice Armor in the Raxes? I think you can. Not doing it though. Just going to Creep Wave. There's a curse on Iceberg. Sonic Wave through as well. Iceberg is going to fall. Chain Frost not looking to do too much here, as Vangscore needs to tether out to someone right away. It's too late. He'll sacrifice himself so that everyone else may live. They lose the Io, they lose the Tiny, but they gain Raxes for very little cost.
Yeah, that was definitely okay with the Rejects. They lost 2 heroes to get Rax. And they, if we include the Bristleback kill, it's like they lost a Tiny versus Bristle and they lost Io, so it's not like even that big of a deal if you look at even if they lost heroes. Like, but the Rax just, I was like, they will get the tower here, and then like Tiny like destroy range Rax in like 3 hits, and then like he goes for melee Rax, and they can't do anything. They Glimmer Cape Tiny, so he takes less magic damage, so all the like poke doesn't matter because Io is healing Druid either way, and then like Rax just goes down. I'm like, what can you do? Like, Binks has to deal with that, but he will die. He's gonna find a kill here that's really big on Always Wanna Fly. But it doesn't matter that much as as long as they can't get objectives, these kills doesn't really matter at this point.
And that's a 10-second BKB charge used there from the Clinks. That's a play that you make if you're not feeling confident in your gameplay. You're scared of the blinkers, and I think it's justified for FN to make that play, but at the same time, that's a large asset down the tubes. You need this BKB to be up against the Lina, Tiny, Centaur. Like, those heroes can really mess up Clinks' day, so 10-second BKB charge now down the drain. Fortunately for them, they get another 10-second BKB charge this time on the Bristleback, so it's not all bad. It's looking for a jump in. TP coming in from the Lina is actually not going to cancel. Relocation is coming in. They catch the Lich with the Lina right now. She should be able to take down the Lich by herself, and they do. You're onto No Fear at the same time. Iceberg is going to get kind of slowed down by the goo. Can't really find a good target. With the Sonic Wave, needs to jump out, and he will get out of there. The curse is still going to stick, but he's A-okay. Always Wanna Fly going to steal the curse, apply to Seedoi, save his own ass. Centaur may fall right now, and Always Wanna Fly looks like, even despite that play, is going to die as well. But the Tiny does get to live. In the meantime, Newteam, they burn through their BKB charges. That's now 2 10 seconds down the tubes, or I guess 3 in total. And they cannot go for any more push because mid lane is kind of in shambles.
Yeah, somewhat nice fight from Newteam, but looking at the big picture, like it feels like it doesn't really give them that much. They get a kill on Centaur in the end. That's like it. They traded Rubik for Lich, so that exchange is like pretty much even. So they get a Centaur for and a tower. It's like, okay, but it's not what they need. They just lost Rax. They need something big. They need a big team fight or Roshan, or like get this tier 1 and tier 2 towers down on top lane. They're losing map control. Considering they have a Clinks, it's not really good. And Lina is getting big now as well. She was like kind of falling behind in form. She had like this Bloodstone and was slowly building towards Jules. Now she picked up on Aghanim and Ghost after sudden. That like came out of nowhere, just thanks to them getting Rax in mid. And Tiny is still looking strong. He's gonna pick up a BKB in about 700 gold. And can they deal with a BKB Tiny?
Can they deal with the double damage, Tiny?
Yeah.
Iceberg is hitting for 600 a pop without overcharge, without minus armor from the AC being factored in. I thought they were going to make a really aggressive jump in using this Observer Ward that they placed down earlier, but it seems like this is just going to be a farming double damage rune. Not like he needed the damage to kill off those creeps, but getting a BKB on the Tiny, that's going to be the timing window that they're looking for. Aghanim Scepter and Ghost Scepter. Look at all these scepters up on Lina. She's just holding too many sticks, and she is hitting like an absolute truck right now. Goretz also closing in on his Aghanim Scepter. A little bit slowly perhaps, but having gone for Vanguard Blink and Glimmer Cape, it's still going to be at a reasonable timing. I think CIS Reject at the very least can go just straight push this bottom tier 2 without too much risk of their own. And for Newteam, they're going to ball up behind the Bristleback, look for someone to ambush. So whatever cannot kill off Iceberg at this stage. I don't think he can at least. He's going to try, but
another BKB wasted. Or Van score?
Oh yeah, he's gonna hit with the curse, and he's gonna drop immediately. Spike stolen by Ozone Fly. That's not what he wants. Iceberg is gonna start cleaving through everyone, but his BKB is not really helping him enough. He's already down below half HP, and he's getting chased down by heroes that he cannot outrun. Needs a blink out right now, but he's not gonna be able to get it out. KS in the meantime gonna try to go for No Fear. Will fail to pick off this Winter Wyvern. Now with the Embrace, Winter Wyvern's gonna get right back up to half HP. Jump in from the Queen of Pain. Gonna lift up the Rubik. Is there any follow-up here? It doesn't seem like there's a lot, but Chain Frost is gonna be deployed. Always Want to Fly gonna steal it and return it. Will that kill off the Lich?
Oh
Seems like it will. They see whatever with the tower, so it does have someone to bounce off of. It's gonna bounce back to whatever. Do a lot of damage to the Clinks as well. Always Want to Fly again with the Rubik plays. But for right now, it's Newteam to take a really nice couple of kills. That's a 3-for-1 exchange.
Yeah, big mistake by the IO mainly. Van score tether, Tiny there. For no reason really. In Heinz, of course you want to tether your Tiny when he has to run away, but because he tethered, there was a Winter's Curse on IO. The Winter's Curse on Tiny won't really matter, because then the Relocate can come out afterwards, or even Center Ultimate. But when Tiny got killed, that was, I mean, when IO got killed by Tiny, that was like the problem. Then he doesn't have the escape road he needs. There's no one space crate for him, while the Center or Ultimate so he can run away, so all the focus is on Tiny. Just kill Tiny and Newton wins the fight. So some minor mistake I see that it costs a lot, and they can't really fight Newteam, I feel like, at this point. If CIS Rejects ever get to Newteam's base, they can just destroy Rax in 5 seconds when the glyph is out. They like pop PKB on Tiny, they just pop Glimmer Cape on him, they do everything to protect him for 10 seconds, and Tiny kills the Rax. But in a fight, he's not that strong. There's a lot of credibility here. Between the Vive and Lich Ice Armor does a ton here, and just Bristle sticking on him own, just focusing casual spells with the Shivas. Like, he's getting kited in this fight quite hard, and the Center Ultimate is not enough in the last fights at least.
They need to take not a 5v5 CS Rejects, they need to take like multiple 1 versus 1s. That's really where they're at their strongest, where Tiny's able to kill off one target, Lina's able to set up on another, and it looks like they may get their wish. Actually going to run straight into the Queen of Pain. She has a BKB, is not able to get it off. Aegis is going to be burned immediately. Curse on the Iceberg. Chain Frost is there as well. Will do a lot of damage to the Centaur War Runner, but they actually do drag the Chain Frost away, so it does fizzle. Iceberg taking a lot of damage. He's relocate out right now, but it's actually not available. Banksor already tried and failed. Tiny will get chased down by the Queen of Pain. We're holding the Sonic Wave, but will ultimately deploy it. Banksor also going to jump right into it and will fall as well. That's a Aegis for 2, and IO Tiny being down opens the door again for Newteam. They may be a little bit weak, like they're not actually at full HP, at least this Queen of Pain is not, but still tier 2s will fall right now. CIS Rejects failing to protect their Tiny combo again.
They didn't even kill a Pop that initiated on. She's still alive, she didn't lose Aegis at all. So, really bad fight for CIS Rejects. And like I said right before, like, I don't think they can take a team fight with Raya, but they need to kill supports of Newteam, I feel like. Lich needs to die, Winter Wyvern needs to die. But the cores will also kill everyone. It's so hard to fight them, I feel like. They have to take multiple one-on-one, like you said. But they have to try and split push off. They can't fight anymore, they have to realize that now. They can't really 5 versus 5. They have to force trades all the time, and Tiny will do the better trades if he's in position.
Centaur looking for a jump in. Lina has another cannon up her sleeve. Question is, who is actually going to die to this one? They're going to jump onto whatever, try to blow up the Clings first, and they do so without worrying about that BKB. It's popped on Seedoy right now. It's going to try to go for the tier 3. Yes, Reject lose that. They gain a Clings, and Tiny's going to be up in just another 5 seconds, so we can rejoin the fight. Jump forward from Always Want to Fly, looking for a lift up. Is going to find the vision onto the Lich for the Yules. And now he's going to fall as well. Fade Bolt to get Jam to kill home. That's 2 deaths here for Newteam, and they take a tier 3. it's nice, but in exchange for their Lynx and their Lich, with Tiny now being up, I'm not sure if that's actually the fight they were looking for. I love the call there from CIS Rejects, though. Clinks is showing his face in the front lines. You dump everything you have into him and kill him off first.
Yeah, it was a really nice initiation there. I think it was Rubik, like, off-baited him, and then Centaur came in with big damage, as well as Lina. And losing tower doesn't really matter for CIS Rejects. I don't think even think losing Rax is too bad for them. They are the ones that, if there's ever a split push or anything of base race, I think they will always have the Tiny that's just way stronger, even though Klinks is doing a lot of damage as well. So Newteam kind of has to win by team fighting, and CIS Rejects probably don't want a team fight at all, and Tiny finds a nice stack and enhances gold. The problem is that only Tiny can really split push. If they had one more hero they could split push efficiently, like actually Fred and Rax or towers, they could probably take control of the map a lot more, but Newteam knows that it's only Tiny that does damage. So they can, as long as they see Tiny and keep tabs on him, they will always be able to kind of force team fights.
Well, Lina may be able to get there. She's going for an ultimate orb item, but aside from that, Centaur, he's got his Aghanims, which is really good, but as far as split pushing is concerned, yeah, Aghanim Scepter is not going to be the item. I don't think Centaur could really ever get to that point. Has to build like an Assault Carash, something like that, and a Desolator, but that's just not his way. The Aghanim Scepter being up is going to help CS Rejects team fight by quite a bit. You got to remember that the damage reduction is a broken 60% once it comes up. And maybe running through trees and cliffs may or may not be relevant, but if you could absorb a Sonic Wave, if you could absorb a couple Chain Frost bounces with that Stampede buff on yourself, then CS Reject may be able to tank right through that and get away with a decent team fight. Of course, it's difficult, very difficult to time it properly, but the upside is certainly here for the Centaur.
Oh, Chivas is gonna spot that out. I think both are dead. Can Iceberg even get out? He doesn't have a TP.
Little Stepper going to cancel Iceberg. Now it's the fight to the death. Chain Frost will definitely kill a Bang score here. Although he's not taking that much damage from it, Iceberg is now going to try to run. Good luck running from a Bristleback with a Basher, as long as he uses Quills, which he doesn't.
Oh, wait, what?
I think he'll still get the kill, because Green Pain is Blink.
Now.
But Iceberg is going to get a little bit of backup from the Lina. LSA is there, going to slow down Seedoid that much more. Dagger's preventing the Blink Dagger. Iceberg is slowed to a crawl, and ultimately will fall. So Seedoid messes up, I think, but not a big deal.
Yeah, imagine if they had a hero that could split push now. They could have actually taken easily this tier 3 tower on bottom lane. That team fight lasted for like over a minute, or like gank on IO Tiny lasted for like a minute. So if they had one more split push here on bottom lane instead of the Centaur, they could have actually threatened Rax maybe even, and maybe even forced them to not kill Tiny because there was so much pressure on the bottom lane. So really unfortunate how the position of this game is, that they don't have a hero like that.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like generally with these IO Tiny lineups, teams put all of their eggs into the Tiny bucket and don't really have like a really strong secondary carry. Like Centaur and Lina do a decent amount of damage, but I mean, it's no, if you look at Newteam side, like Bristleback and Clinks, those two are very, very balanced in as far as what damage they can put out, what threat they have, and what they offer to their team as a whole. And CS Rejects are a little bit, I mean, they're a lot more skewed than that. They don't have comparable heroes, at least not one-to-one. It's like Frost Blast gonna be Snowbite always want to fly, but whatever is right next to him. He's gonna start opening up onto the melee racks, lift it up into the air. He has a BKB, so he should be fine. Jump in, Bang Sword can hit with the curse. Whatever's gonna now pop the BKB, go straight for this IO. But the Ghost Scepter will keep himself alive. They're gonna charge right in with the Stampede, but it's not really doing enough. Chain Frost is going to fizzle super quickly, and it looks like Newteam will fall back. Will they lose anyone on the retreat? Seems like it's unlikely. They do take melee racks, jump in from Iceberg and Bang Score. They see No Fear, I think. They must have. Yeah, they cancel his TP. They will get the Dragon. That's a very big kill. Like, this Winter Wyvern is just killing off CS Rejects one at a time simply because they can't get the kills through the Embrace, and the Curse is just so big, but he has a buyback, so I think this is an opening for CS Rejects, but not really a huge one, especially if they're pushing down mid.
Yeah, it's gonna be very tough. I think Stampede in 20 seconds is very low cooldown actually, only 60 seconds, and they might be able to do something here. BKBs are still on cooldown on Klinks. I think Bristle as well. Bristle is actually off cooldown now, but they kind of have to do something here. And Tiny will take this down quite fast, but there's a glyph up, so it's really hard for him.
He's dropping below half HP already, throws an Avalanche, and in the meantime, Centaur's going to try to go for Klinks, but he doesn't have enough damage to do that. Lina does, however. Throws a Lagoon Blade, Klinks down, maybe forced to buy back. They lose the Rubik in exchange. Central Warband with the gem will also fall. Iceberg does not want to walk into this, but Yoku's going to force the issue. Jump right in for the dagger. Has a Sonic Wave available. Iceberg is still not hitting anyone. Is just struggling to find a single target. Sido's not the one he wants to go for. Lena's going to get bashed up. They're going to ignore her. Go for Bank Score instead. Sonic Wave to kill off the IO, and Iceberg should also fall afterwards. That's going to be 4 kills for 1, as Lena does teleport down to the bottom lane, so she's going to be pretty happy. But that was a lot of damage being put into the Tiny before he really had a chance to react. It's still Newteam with a great trade, and they're getting further and further ahead in this game. 4,000, 10,000 in golden experience respectively. Not massive, I mean the experience is, but still for CIS Rejects, they're losing all their steam, and I think at this point may have lost all their steam.
Yeah, and Newteam didn't even have to use Glyph there. If they use Glyph, that's a big difference in CIS Rejects playstyle after this fight. They could maybe just take that, they lose 3 heroes, whatever, and then the Glyph was used, so now you can actually just fed and base hard. You like smoke on everyone except Tiny, and he just goes for Drax or something, but Glyph is still up, so that's not a possibility even. So they have to team fight Newteam, but they're losing every team fight. So they're so one-sided. They're not standing a chance in this fight. Blink's gonna, unfortunately, getting picked off. If he hadn't gotten killed straight up, that would have been even more one-sided.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, Tiny has a buyback, maybe forced to use it because the Raxes are going to take a hell of a lot of damage right now. Sidoi will get driven back by KS, and No Fear will just fly over the base. Everyone else from Newteam, they will fall back without the Desolator on Clinks. Going for this high ground push is a little bit more difficult. Roshan timer is going to be up in about a minute's time. Newteam, again, do have the proper heroes to go for a very quick Roshan. And that may be CIS Reject's best time to get in there. Again, team fighting is not what they want, but at a certain point you kind of have to. And Roshan represents their best opening to actually get a victory.
Yeah, I wonder what Sandra's gonna go. I feel like his item could determine a lot. A Refresher could be amazing on him. He doesn't have that much mana, but he's not using a lot of mana either. It's only pretty much 2 spells that cost mana and Glimmer Cape, so it's not impossible that he could sustain a Refresher. But I feel like he needs a really big impact item. Not sure what it's gonna be though. I think this Glimmer Cape is kinda hindering him right now. It's nice sometimes, but like a 4-step could make him get so much better hookstones off. He hasn't gotten that good hookstones off, I feel like. Like 1 or 2 good ones, and then the rest has been like 1 target or not at all.
It was like a 3-man with his second blink usage after that kind of botched first one, and then nothing. He has a lot of gold, but I don't really know if he can spend it in time. Roshan is definitely the objective, and Newteam don't want to be the first ones in. They may just want to wrap around and look for a full-on team fight again. Like, it's been working out for them so far, so they might as well just wash and repeat. Rinse and repeat, rather. And, well, they have a Daedalus almost completed on the Clinks. Is Lich going for an Aghanim Scepter with his point booster? That's pretty sick, but I don't know if it's actually the greatest item right now. They're going to slide right in CIS Rejects. They're doing it pretty quickly, and Newteam actually backed off for a little while.
Yeah, they don't think they can take this. They're thinking CIS Rejects going for the gang. And it's going to be close. Sidoi might make it in.
Get lifted up. Roshan is going to drop. They grab the Aegis. Always want to fly. Looking for the cheese. We'll throw up some dust. They can lift up on a Sidoi, but Lich is in a lot of trouble right now. He has no Chain Frost. He's going to fall first. Curse on a Bank Score, though, and the Tiny's going to kill off his buddy. Curse returned now by Always Want to Fly, but Sidoi's taking no damage from it whatsoever. Iceberg is still swinging pretty fast. Sidoi grabs a Haste Rune. Oh, that's terrible here for CIS Rejects because they just can't catch up to him. He's going to use the Abyssal onto Iceberg. Now just going to go for everyone else. Yoku's going to take a little bit of damage, but with the Embrace, he just won't die. They're onto KS. They'll bring him down. Iceberg now, the sole survivor with Always Want to Fly. They may be able to kill off a couple more heroes here, but they'll lose the Rubik immediately. Now Iceberg has to pray that his craggy exteriors are good enough. He won't be able to blink out because the Yule Scepter is going to try to go for Sidoi with the jump in, but the Embrace on Sidoi is going to get him so much additional HP. Iceberg is completely trapped at this point. He may have the Aegis, yes. Cleave onto Yoku is actually going to get the kill. I think Tiny is going to be fine here. He just leaves or goes in. No, it's fine, but it's ultimately a pretty good fight for Newteam. They don't kill off Iceberg again. Now he actually has 6,400 gold. This Tiny is a threat, and they were not able to burst him down this time.
Oh, IO spawns in a few seconds. Snowflare will blink out. Couldn't they relocate to Tiny now when he threatens base? I guess he can't against 3 heroes. Or they're relocating. Yeah, Lena has Boost of Travel as well. This could be very interesting. He's gonna take the tower.
And as a buyback, though, he doesn't have a Sonic Wave for. Oh, actually, she does have Sonic Wave. Sidoi is going to charge right in.
Let's toss Sidoi away. Looks like the teammate.
Yeah.
I think they could have done more, but I guess they don't want to risk it. That was, in the end, that was really good for CIS Rejects. The team fight looked even, they got Roche of course, so that's an advantage. But in the end, they take a tier 3 tower and do a lot of damage on tier 4s. So the threat of base racing is even stronger now than it was before, so not too bad for CIS Rejects. Though they got really unlucky that Cedo picked up a haste. If that haste would have been picked up by Tiny or Centaur, I think they would have won straight up the team fight and maybe forcing like 4 buybacks from Newteam.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been worse for both sides. I think haste is probably the second worst rune. If you find a double damage there as Bristleback, everyone dies. Or for Tiny, everyone also dies. So, you know, count your blessings, I guess. But still, Tiny is struggling to catch up to his targets, and his allies just aren't lasting long enough. This Centaur is supposed to be tanky, has now grabbed the Vlads, and that's a really nice item to have when you have Tiny on your side. But as far as a high-impact item, no, Vlads isn't really one of those items.
Yeah.
So
Like
it's good, but not good enough.
Newteam are going aggressive though. They might be worried about them losing objectives slowly like this, that they have to go for something big. There's gonna be a really good Tiny though if they go to ham. How many of them have TPs? Klinks has one, Pop has one, Lich has one. They all seem to have one, except Cedoy. He's like, nope, Bristle, I run there. But that could be costly though. Like, you can Tiny.
Murray's gonna save his ass for right now. He's gonna get out of there with the Force Staff, lifted up, however. And now Iceberg and Bankscore are kind of separated. They do drop the Lich first. No Chain Frost available. Sonic Wave gonna cut through onto Bankscore, but a nice 2-man Hoof Stomp is gonna lock down both. And Cedo is gonna try to Abyssal and run. He'll instead decide to TP. Whatever's gonna stand his ground. Snipe the IO. Look to grab a gem, but he's invis. The gem, someone's gotta grab it and give chase.
Oh,
it's the
Rubik.
Rubik.
It up, but it's too late.
They couldn't grab it in time. That's a Lich for an IO trade after all is said and done. But I think for CIS Rejects, that's fine, because they stopped the push. They stopped the pressure there from Newteam. And they still have the Tiny at full HP.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. They could have gotten a lot more though. I felt like they could have killed at least one more core if they got a bit more lucky and maybe was a bit faster on some stuff. But still, CIS Rejects were kind of hanging in. It looked like Newteam was going to take over the game at some point. But they're playing really well, CIS Rejects. And it's possible that it's just come to a point where they just outwin because they have Tiny against buildings. Like it's really risky. Like Newteam can't really afford. Okay, Cedo picked up Boots of Travel, so that's big. That's actually really big. He can actually always defend. So it's looking. These are the items they need to pick up. If they don't carry things like this, like Boots of Travel or TPs, they could just straight up lose.
Like, when you have an IO Tiny on your side, it almost feels like you have the inevitability, no matter what happens, as long as you don't get, you know, 0 for 5 in a team fight or something like that, then you will be able to chip at the buildings. Double damage on Tiny certainly helps as well. That's a pretty good one to find. Jump in onto whatever. How he pops the BKB first. Curse now onto the Centaur. No damage being dealt to him just yet. They drop the Laguna Blade onto whatever. Force him out. With the Embrace will be kept alive. Sonic Wave through onto a whole bunch, but Iceberg's still at full HP. Lost his BKB and is struggling to actually connect onto anyone. Lost his double damage rune as well. Yoki's gonna go right for KS right now as Iceberg is once again struggling to find a target. He's gonna throw an avalanche towards Cedoy. Splash into no clear. Will get the kill, but he also is gonna fall. Now Bankscore stuck in place. For some reason not moving. Is going to fall as well. That was a fight against a double damage rune Tiny, and Newteam take it with a 1 for 4 trade.
Yeah, the Winter's Curse is really carrying Newteam right now. If he doesn't lock down Tiny and Centaur there, they lose Klinks instantly. It was really unfortunate. Klinks was really fast on his BKB as well. He popped BKB as soon as he heard the Centaur ultimate, so he didn't get stunned, which was also really big. So those two plays combined made Newteam win the fight pretty one-sided. You see Tiny just leaving people, like everyone around him is so low, but he never managed to finish them off. With Centaur not doing that much, I feel like. He has his Aghanim's ultimate, but other than that, he's not really doing anything in team fights.
Centaur's prime has since passed, and really there's not much you can get as Centaur to gain back that prime. Like, again, armor items help, Assault Cuirass helps, Heart is a pretty good item to have, but as far as making yourself a significant threat, that pretty much tops out no matter what your build is at like 40 minutes, 35 minutes, somewhere around those lines. Newteam now grab a second melee rack, so that, you know, I guess they take a... Oh, they actually don't take mid-ranged. Okay, that's interesting, but now 2 melee racks in their favor. And for CIS Rejects, that fight is just another devastating loss, compounded by the fact that Iceberg was forced to buy back there. This Tiny has so much damage now, the true hit from the MKB is not going to be missing at all, but still he's struggling to find his targets, is getting kited back and forth, and Newteam, they're not having those issues. Bristleback typically doesn't have those issues. And Newteam may even feel strong enough just to go in, gun for another fight. They have 3 gems on their side.
Yeah, Refresher on Cop as well picked it up lastly, so she's a beast. Double ultimate and double Shivas, and double BKB is it's really potent. Just having double Shivas means so much kideability as well, which is what CIS rejects are losing to. This Tiny is not able to do his full damage because he's just being kited around, and the only hero he's able to hit are people or heroes that doesn't care about being hit that much. Like Bristle is like, yeah, I can tank like a 4 or 5 hits without really caring, and then like if let's say Klinks is taking hits, it's usually because he can get Cold Embrace, so he feels confident taking hits. He's not doing the damage that's needed, even though he's cleaving everyone quite a lot. It's something is missing.
Team fight. We're gonna catch No Fear right now. If they bring down the curse, then they may just take this fight. No Fear is gonna drop without using that curse. Iceberg and Banks are gonna jump to the back lines to relocate. Chain Frost gonna bounce through, but it's not gonna do a ton. Iceberg now cleaving through the Lich. Will take that hero down as well. Now cleaving onto whatever, who's just taking shots from the Lina. Will fall in the end. Sonic Wave onto 2, but now the Queen of Pain lifted up in there. Will drop into an LSA. Iceberg still swinging. Here comes the IO. Back from the relocate. Sonic Wave now stolen by the Rubik. They finally get the curse off of Iceberg. With the Embrace and the Seedoy, though, not enough damage because they can't stop him from attacking. And Seedoy may just drop here. Iceberg is still alive. No Fear will fall as well.
Oh my
god. That's a 0 for 4 trade. Are you kidding me? The Queen of Pain is still alive. May get a random pick off by the end of it, but the pick off on the Winter Wyvern, that was a fight winning move there from No Team. They killed her off twice. She used her buyback there, and Iceberg still lives. That Embrace at the end may have been a mistake.
That was, yeah, Iceberg surviving with, he was like less than 20% HP for most of that fight, and just the IO just healing him up little, like just a little gave him enough to kill everyone. And now they have to use buybacks. Do they have buybacks even?
They have it on
buyback. Oh, Iceberg, did you overextend? This I really
IO
can't
is
ready.
gonna start channeling up that relocate, but he can't actually tether the Tiny out. So IO gets out fine, but IO is not the problem there. CIS Rejects now have no Tiny for 100 seconds.
Oh,
and
they're
Newteam
going
seem
all
to
in.
know about it. They're gonna buy out and look for a death blow. It is melee racks to be taken. Bank score is... Where are you going? Okay. I guess he's just trying to escape the Clinks, but he's also gonna fall. That's the combo down for 90 seconds now. For Newteam, that first fight was really bad. It was, extremely bad. They weren't not able to also kill off the Lina, who was just firing off throughout the entire fight. It doesn't do like the most damage in the world, certainly no Tiny, but if you let her fire that many times, you will regret it. Newteam, they're gonna have to push down a side lane, I think. Top lane, though, still has freaking tier 1, though. So what can they actually do with this opening? It doesn't seem like a lot.
A new team is going for all in, it looks like. They're gonna gather everyone mid and just go. Tiny's down for 50. They want to get like Rex or even any game by that point. Will they be able to though? This is such a tense moment. I'm not sure who's gonna... If Tiny spawns, it's a possibility to just relocating to the opponent's base and taking Rex or taking Throne before New Team can. But New Team are really strong right now. The Lina is up to 6k gold. He really needs to buy something. He can't sit on this amount of gold right now. He needs to buy something.
No, there's nothing that he can get. I think he wants to get that Ethereal Blade, but it's going to be in the side shop. That Eagle Song, the tier 4s are going to start taking some serious damage right now. They get the Sheep Stick onto Seedoy right now, but they cannot kill off this Bristleback. They'll try their best, drop him pretty low, but he pops the BKB now. Chain Frost, that's going to do quite a bit of damage. It does bounce through quite a few heroes. Dual Scepter on the Winter Wyvern. Can they bring down this curse once again with no Laguna Blade? It seems unlikely.
He needs to buy a refresher
Tiny
right
just needs
now.
10 seconds, and well, no, whatever's now going to try to go for the Ancient with the BKB pop. Seedoy's also going to start going in towards that. Tiny's up in 3 seconds. Whatever is going to fall. However, Seedoy's going to try his best, but he's just not doing enough damage. Now here comes Iceberg. He's back from the dead and he's looking for
What is
blood.
happening?
No Fear and Lich both should crater here. Yoku can no longer go for the Ancient. He just doesn't have enough damage at this point. The Tiny's still standing strong. The Lina as well. Gonna get the Sheep Stick plus the LSA Avalanche Toss available onto Yoku. He has a blink out, but he will get right back in though. He misclicks and walks into his own doom. That's 120 seconds without a Queen of Pain. Relocate now up on Bank score. I think it's time to fill the tanks and bring Iceberg in for Megas or tier 4s. GG. That was a great hold from CIS Rejects. The chain stunning, the Sheep Stick on Lina, doing overtime.
I thought as soon as Lina didn't buy refresher, I thought they lost. Like she will lose the game for them now, right here. But then I don't know what happened. Everyone was something small missing from Newteam. They didn't get the damage they needed. Lina was doing so much work there together with Centaur. They were just doing so perfect, playing it perfect. And Rubik also stole something nice. I don't even remember what because I think Red Bull so.
He's gonna pick a fight with Seedoy right now. There is a Chain Frost available from the Lich, but there's not really any targets bounced towards Bankscore.
Oh my god, Lina
in the ethereal form. Now the Chain Frost is gonna start bouncing. Seedoy gonna stick onto Bankscore. Needs to tether away to his Tiny. Is gonna get it off. No stuns in time. Seedoy can take Laguna now. If he falls right now, that's just disaster. But the Chain Frost is still going. They gotta split out of this. Now bouncing to the Siege creeps. The Io dies, the Tiny's still very healthy, however. We'll probably be able to take this melee Rax down without too much of an issue, but still a minute with no Queen of Pain for Newteam. 15 seconds until Clank is up. I think they'll be able to hold right now. There's still no Laguna Blade here from the Lina, and Seedoy's now on the chase. Probably gonna get lifted up by the... Yeah, Yule Scepter is there. Iceberg is kind of awkwardly positioned right now. He better have a buyback. He does in 10 seconds. So dying right now is not the end of the world. Gonna cheap stick on the Seedoy. Centaur's coming in as well for the Hoof Stomp. With the Embrace there, they're just not going to get the kill. They also have to make sure that they're spread out because the Curse is still available here from No Fear. They know exactly where the Dragon is. They're trying to go for Seedoy, but they're just not killing him off fast enough. Now the damage is starting to flow. And Iceberg, he's taking a lot more, however. He's going to fall first. Tiny is down with buyback. No Fear going to jump forward. Looking for a Splinter Blast target. Not going to find it. But still, the base of Newteam taking pretty much no damage there, at least no substantial damage. The melee Rax will regenerate, and we're right back to square one, it seems. Always want to fly. Where are you going? He's gonna run into whatever and try to hope to steal Skeleton Walk. He gets it. And there's actually no gem here in our Newteam. It's all the courier.
What a game. What is happening? Centaur is split pushing though. Tiny doesn't have buyback at all, right? Before he spawns.
No, he does.
Oh, yeah, he does. Yeah, it was quite some time ago.
Top lane is being pushed, but I don't think they're going fast enough. Nowhere close.
Yeah, that's backdoor.
This has got to be a miraculous hold. They have a fortification, however. That is important. They have to make sure not to waste that time. Sheepstick on the Seedoy first. Buyback on the Tiny. Jump in. 3-man Poof Stomp. They're onto No Fear. Can they bring him down? They kill off the Lich as well. Now No Fear in a lot of trouble. Will drop. And now they're going to lift the Bristleback up to the air. Whatever's firing, doing his best with the Daedalus, with the Desolator. He's going to fall as well. Seedoy is just going to ignore everyone, try to go for the buildings, but he's going to get tossed up in the air, being down by Iceberg. Seedoy is going to try to book it, but I don't think he can. He's going to fall with buyback, however. Yoku, he's going to jump out of the bottom lane. Here comes the relocate. Your escape path is officially cut off. He has a blink dagger. He's going to have to blink into the trees and try to TP out. Blind Avalancher from Iceberg is going to guess wrong. And Queen of Pain gets to live, but it's another hold from CIS Rejects. Their Ancient, at less than half HP, does regenerate super slowly. But CIS Rejects, do they really want to go for another push? Because if they lose Iceberg this time, that's just game over.
Yeah, that was chaos right there. I don't think CIS Rejects can go for the end here. Everyone that's dead has buyback. And Pop playing it risky here. Not gonna amount to anything. But CIS really has to force the buybacks though, at least on Bristle and Clank, if not more. They could probably snipe bottom racks as well pretty fast and get out, but it's so tense. I'm not sure what these teams are thinking. It's one mistake and you lose the game right now.
Yeah, Bristleback's the only one with buyback right now. However, Lich and Wild are going to be up naturally. They force the buyback out, and they're just going to go for the jugular. With the overcharge, Iceberg's going to make short work of these towers. Ice armor is desperately needed. They get the jump right now onto the Lich. Can they bring down the Chain Frost? Looks like they'll fall short. Curse now onto the Centaur, but Iceberg's the problem. He's going for the Ancient. Chain Frost is bouncing through, but they do bring down the Lich and the Queen of Pain, actually. Iceberg will die. Can the rest of the heroes do it? It's going to be so close. They're going to try to get into KS. Goret's still firing up on the top side. Looks like CIS Rejects have done it. Barely. Oh my god.
CIS Rejects did, but Newteam couldn't. It just went prone and actually managed. Tiny doing so much damage. Lina doing so much damage as well. Oh god, what a finish.
I want to say Craggy Exterior, one of the MVPs in this game. Of course, you can't chalk it up all to one skill, but Tiny just refusing to die in that last fight. They were all trying to go for him, but the rest of the team also bringing down the Queen of Pain. In the meantime, Yoku was not able to get into that fight, and Lina firing off, Centaur firing off, I guess as substantial as that may be. An hour-long game, and it's a nail-biter to the very end. CIS Rejects going to take the first game, guys. There's another one coming, and my god, I hope it's half as good as this one. I'm Mikelorus. I've been joined by KefkaDota. Be sure to stick around for the next game. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, at Mikelorus, at KefkaDota. But right now, guys, we'll be right back.